Cardiovascular Institute of the South is celebrating 40 years of delivering healthcare to our patients and communities. Founded by Dr. Craig Walker in 1983 and guided by a mission to provide the highest quality cardiovascular care available, CIS has pioneered hundreds of firsts to improve outcomes for cardiovascular diseases. Through new technology, virtual care, outpatient procedures, and national growth, CIS is improving lives and leading the way for advanced care and innovation.
Everybody, welcome back into Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. It's time to check in at Assumption Parish. And Assumption Parish, Leland Falcon, his office. They've been very busy over the last couple of weeks. Commander Lonnie Cavalier with the Assumption Parish office is joining us. Welcome back. We had a week off, so we got a pretty thick docket here we're going to talk about today. Starting with a Taylor Renee Culverson.
Yes, Taylor Renee Culverson was arrested this past Saturday. Deputies responded to Taylor Renee Culverson's 31 years of age, 123 Rain Court in Bayou. Deputies responded to a domestic complaint at the family residence on Saturday morning. Deputies made contact with the complainant, who is the spouse of Taylor Renee Culverson, who advised deputies that Taylor Renee Culverson arrived home from an overnight outing and they engaged in an argument. At some point, Taylor Renee Culverson allegedly pulled a firearm, displayed it towards the complainant, and communicated threats of violence. At the time that took place, there were 3 minor children which belonged to the couple present. Taylor Renee Culverson was arrested and booked into the Assumption Parish Jail on charges of domestic abuse battery with child endangerment, 4 counts, and aggravated assault with a firearm, 4 counts. She remains incarcerated without bond. Judge ordered a bond hearing.
All right. So as we move on to the next one, this is a case you guys have been working on for almost a year, since November of 2023.
Yes, Stanley Varner II, 2611 Cardinal M Street in Fresno, Texas, was taken into custody by the Harris County Sheriff's Office. On November 14, 2023, deputies initiated an investigation in Assumption Parish relative to theft valued at over $25,000, auto theft, and criminal access to an automated teller machine. As a result of that investigation, warrants were issued for Stanley Varner II. Stanley Varner was arrested on August 1st, 2024, and was extradited to Louisiana on Thursday, October 17, 2024. Varner was booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of theft over $25,000, theft of a motor vehicle, and theft of criminal access to an automated teller machine. His bond was set at $40,000, and he was held without bond as a fugitive from the state of Texas and the state of Alabama. Stanley Varner II was classified as a very dangerous inmate, both to law enforcement and to the general public, at the time of his arrest. He is being held in our jurisdiction at this time and will be, upon satisfying local charges, will be turned over to respective states of Alabama and Texas.
Wow, three states. You're talking about the long arm of the law, right there. Lonnie.
Yes, yes.
For sure. Again, the next one would be Tamika Lewis Wesley, and again, involving an automobile, but this time insurance.
Yes, Tamika Lewis Wesley, 44, Motorway Marshall Lane, Napoleonville, was arrested after the sheriff's office received warrants on her for fraud related to automobile insurance policies and a probation violation from the Department of Corrections. Wesley was arrested and booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of automobile insurance policies fraud and a probation violation. Her bond was set at $15,000 on the insurance fraud, and she was ordered held without bond on the probation violation, and she is now being held in the Lafourche Parish Detention Center.
So that's a multi-parish incident there. So next one happens to be Roger Dale Davila.
Roger Dale Davila, 43 of 115 Dino Street, Pierpont, was arrested on charges of aggravated assault with a firearm, 2 counts. Deputies were called to the 4000 block of LE 70 in Pierpont in reference to 2 complainants who indicated that Roger Dale Davila displayed a firearm, pointed it at them, and communicated threats of violence. This was over an issue between 2 of the parties. Deputies located Roger Dale Davila at his home, and subsequent to the investigation, he was arrested, and a large caliber handgun was seized from his possession. He was booked into the Assumption Parish Jail on charges of aggravated assault with a firearm, 2 counts, and he was released after posting a $50,000 commercial bond.
So Davila, I should know that. I took Spanish in college, so I should know that. We go to Bayou Lewis again for Drake Geisler.
It's actually Drake Joseph Geisler, 30, of Bayou Lewis, was arrested on multiple felony counts after the deputies located a vehicle suspiciously parked at a Bayou Lewis business. As deputies investigated, Geisler walked from behind the business and attempted to get into the vehicle. Geisler refused to comply with the deputies' commands and was arrested. During a canine search of the vehicle, deputies seized heroin, methamphetamine, multiple doses of Xanax or alprazolam, and numerous doses of a sublingual sleep strip. Drake Joseph Geisler was arrested and booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of prohibited acts, Schedule 4 drugs, 2 counts, prohibited acts, Schedule 2 drugs, possession of methamphetamine with intent to distribute, possession of Xanax with intent to distribute, possession of heroin with intent to distribute, resisting an officer, and a probation parole violation. He is being held on a $150,000 bond on the relative drug charges and was ordered held without bond on the probation violation.
Wow. So we're going to take a break. We got about 20 seconds left of this segment and come back and do more. Is that a big issue? We see a lot of heroin in Assumption Parish, Lonnie?
Yes, it is an issue, and we aggressively work it.
Yeah.
We do aggressively work it, and it's like any other drugs right now anywhere. It's readily available, and we just have to go after it.
That's such a change from when we were kids, it seems like. But anyway,
yes.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, more from Assumption Parish right here on Bayou.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.
Everybody, welcome back to Bayou Time. We go back to Assumption Parish. We were talking to Lonnie. And Lonnie, we were talking a little bit about some of the substances that make our way in our parish. By no means am I meaning that's Assumption Parish at all. But it's just something we're dealing with now as a society that I guess, with a border and issues and that we see a lot more dangerous drugs in our communities.
Yeah, we're not exempt from it. We see our share of heroin, our share of meth, and obviously fentanyl is one of the biggest concerns because all the previous drugs I mentioned are generally laced with fentanyl, and something you used to be able to purchase for $125 a gram. Now you can readily purchase a syringe for $20 laced with fentanyl. And obviously everybody knows about fentanyl, and it is very dangerous. And, we aggressively pursue it, but it's there.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And it's a dangerous times we live in for people that want to play on that edge,
Yes,
it's a dangerous time. And I think we've all had people in our lives that crossed that line. And I think, 100,000 deaths over the last couple of years in the United States due to that. So, yeah, it's really a problem. So I apologize. Let's continue talking about, we still had some more arrests to get to. We'll go to Shane Patrick Ryan.
Shane Patrick Ryan, 30 of 107 Flowers, Drive, Covington, Louisiana. Deputies responded to a complaint involving a custody matter and in the process conducted warrants checks on all the parties present. It was determined that Shane Patrick Ryan was wanted by the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office on a warrant charging him with a probation violation, which is a felony. Shane Patrick Ryan was arrested and booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on the fugitive warrant and subsequently released to the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office.
So, and then our next stop would be, again, another one, Kenneth Joseph Broussard, who's 40 years old.
Yes, Kenneth Joseph Broussard, 40, of 17588 Joseph Area Road in Prairieville, was stopped by deputies on Shell Beach Road in Pierreport. Due to Broussard's actions at the time of the stop, deputies requested consent to search his vehicle, which he granted. Deputies seized a quantity of methamphetamine. At the time of this incident, there was a minor child present with Broussard. Broussard was arrested. He was charged on counts of possession of methamphetamine, possession of controlled dangerous substances in the presence of a person under 17 years of age, and no seatbelt. He remains in the Assumption Parish Detention Center with bond fixed at $50,000.
$50,000. And our final person that was arrested this week, Charles Walter Patterson.
Yes, Charles Walter Patterson III, 42 of 133 Violet Street at Labradorville, was stopped on LA1 by deputies in Labradorville for a traffic violation. At some point, due to the driver's actions, deputies requested consent to search his vehicle. During the search, deputies seized marijuana, cocaine, hydrocodone, and assorted drug paraphernalia. Patterson was arrested. During an invasive body search at the detention center, additional cocaine was seized. Charles Walter Patterson III was arrested and booked into the parish jail on charges of taking contraband to and from a penal institution, possession of cocaine, possession with intent to distribute hydrocodone, and possession of marijuana, obstruction of justice, driving on roadway lane for traffic, and Charles Walter Patterson III remains incarcerated with bond set at $160,000.
Is that something you guys do? I mean, obviously you search people all the time. Do you find a lot of contraband like that?
Yes, we do. A lot of it is, we do have the Intensified Criminal Enforcement Unit titled ICE. And basically they do what we assign them to do in what we consider troubled areas or areas where opportunity is good for people to traffic drugs. Obviously, Highway 1 and 308 and Spur 70 are relatively good highways, and a lot of people get off the interstate to traffic those areas, and that's why ICE was developed. And we've been very successful at it, and obviously it's a very handy tool. When we either do it by consent, if probable cause exists and consent's not granted, we can do with a K9 unit or a search warrant. Obviously, if probable cause exists to conduct those searches, we do those things.
Yeah, you do see that Highway 90 and Highway 10 are usually a corridor from people carrying drugs from either Mexico to Florida or, Texas to Florida, whatever. But you see that a lot on I-10. But if you don't think about it, yeah, 308, LA1, Spur 70 are those places to go to Houma, Thibodeau, Morgan City, and down to Bayou. So, yeah, it would be a big corridor for those areas. Yeah,
and basically our ICE unit works very similar to what an interdiction unit would do on the interstate highways. They do it on our roadways of the previous roadways I mentioned. And we do seize a lot of drugs. And a lot of times it's people that are just simply getting off the interstate or getting off the Highway 90 corridor and, finding a route that they think is easy to traffic in. And we've been very successful with it and very aggressive with it.
Yeah, you guys, that ICE unit really is been a good unit for you guys. Last 30 seconds to go, Lonnie. This time of year, I know a lot of cane farmers, they mostly doing the grinding, but now there's a lot of smoke, and this is a time where we do have a lot of smog, and also I guess people need to be extra careful on the roads right now. Huh?
Yes, they do need to. We've been pretty fortunate not to have a whole lot of fog in these areas. is something we pay a lot of attention to, because obviously in the past we've had some fatal accidents involving those types of weather conditions. And we do try to get on our social media sites and however else to advise people when those things are going to occur or are occurring.
Absolutely. Well, Lonnie, appreciate the update from Assumption Parish. That's Lonnie Cavalier.
Thank y'all.
Okay, we'll be right back with more Bayou Time.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.